There have been a few very important changes with patch 2 to how the Huns work. Now, overall, you're seeing a reduction in price on quite a few of the units. Scary warriors gotten cheaper. I won't go over all of the units that have gotten cheaper, but most of them have gotten a bit cheaper. And also, for your cavalry, there have been some important changes. For the bow cavalry, we now have Parthian shot for the Hunnic bow cavalry. This, of course, makes them much more useful in kiting and baiting enemy cavalry to try and follow them. But you need to be aware that the turn speed and the charge speed that enemy cavalry is able to reach means that it can be difficult to outrun enemy cavalry units with your bow cavalry. But it's a nice addition. I think it's a step in the right direction for the Huns. Now they also have the units I've loaded up here: the Scary Warriors, the Step-Mounted Brigands, the Shamans of the Eternal Sky, the Step Raiders, the Noble Akatsiri Raiders, and the Unigod have all gotten the spear that has a 30 bonus against large. But it's not a good idea to send them in against other heavier units, charge them into other heavier units. I mean specifically cavalry units, of course, because these units are light, very light, light, and light bow. So what happens is when these units charge into heavier cavalry units, they will take a lot of impact damage. I don't know if you saw the video I made in Rome 2 about how significant impact damage can be, but essentially one unit of a very light shock cavalry unit in Rome 2 could get destroyed on the charge by a heavy cavalry unit, very heavy, or was it super heavy, very heavy or super heavy cavalry unit that didn't have a weapon. So what that means is that just pure impact damage alone is enough to kill a lot of cavalry on the charge. So when you bring into the equation charge bonuses and weapons, things get even worse. So all of these units need a significant amount of time to work and to deal damage, which makes them less powerful and less easy to use, and they are not very good against infantry because they can cause a lot of casualties. But because of their low armor, low health, 18 armor, 8, 18, 20, and they're all sub 200 health, which is a huge problem. They die very easily to missiles and such. Now, another important change is that the UR warriors are now cheaper, but they only have a 10 bonus against infantry. But to be fair, that is more than enough. I would have liked to see their bonus against infantry removed entirely. They already have 50 melee damage, they already have insane melee attack. So a 10 bonus against infantry is entirely useless, and it's not useless like it's bad, it's very good. But it's an insult to units like these Axis that only has a 5 bonus against infantry, and that is another change, that units with Axis now have a 5 bonus against infantry instead of just AP, so they will do more damage to infantry. But swords like the Khanda, wielded by the Chosen Newer Warriors, they kind of mess up the balance of things, because in my opinion, the single-handed Axis should have the 10 bonus against infantry, while swords should rely on base damage mostly. This chopping weapon, having the Khanda, is a pure chopping weapon, and the Khanda having 10 armor piercing damage, more than stabbing swords that are able to stab, is kind of weird. I don't like that too much. But the Huns have gotten a bit of a buff if we look at the Huns isolated from the other factions, but the Huns still have the problems of having a lot of light cavalry. It's just that now they can use attrition tactics more effectively with kiting with their Hunnic units, and then they will be able to finish cavalry units off in melee easier than before. Problem is, though, the Germanics have the better cavalry, they have the better skirmishers, and the Huns remain the kings of the most cost-effective sword infantry units in the game, and not much else, basically. So The Huns have gotten a bit better, they've gotten more fun to play with, but still the Huns are one of the weaker factions in the game. Like, the Steppe Lancers got cheaper, there are some nice charge bonuses going around here, but these Lancers are still going to take a beating in close combat with any kind of decent melee. Melee defense 2, melee defense 5. These units will get hit a lot and they don't have the armor to withstand those hits. Strength and honor.